Hello, this is your professor for ECED 200 giving you your weekly announcements in a video format. A couple of things I wanted to go over. First, the weekly meetings I was trying to set up. Thank you to two of you who responded to my doodle poll. I appreciate that. If the other three of you would not mind doing that, the other three or four of you would not mind doing that, that would be great, and maybe we can come up with a regular meeting time. This course, there's only 5 or 6 of you in this course. I've never taught a course this small, so the meetings may not be as needed as I do find them to be in other courses, but I still want to give everyone the opportunity. It isn't required, and I apologize if I gave that impression to anyone. You do get extra credit for attending the meetings, and it is required that you listen to the recordings if you're not able to come. So we will get that set up. So for this week, I'm just going to do this video message. And then for next week, I think I will have to do, just due to my schedule, I'm going to go ahead and have to do the meeting on a Monday about 6:30, which is not a time that anybody picked, but that's what I will do next week. And then we'll see if we get some more feedback to set up the meetings from then on. Okay, so moving to week 2. There are a few things I just kind of wanted to alert you to on during this week. The chapter readings are 2 chapters, one on recording and collecting data, and the other one on self-esteem. And just going really quickly to the book, I do have it in electronic format. This chapter is talking about recording information, anecdotal records, running records, sampling, all different kinds of methods. So you're going to be looking at those and analyzing them. Pay particular attention to the anecdotal and records because that's what you're going to be using for the week 4 assignment when you go and observe a child. So so chapter 2 has a lot of good, really basic and specific information. So if you've used some kinds of these methods, but you aren't quite sure like what's the difference between anecdotal and running, for example. I mean, they're very, very similar. Anecdotal, though, is about writing about an anecdote or an incident, an event, and a running record is similar to that, except that you're just writing continually as things are going on. So one thing I want to I'll say this over and over again probably, but when you're writing your records, you want to be as objective as possible and use as much detail as possible. If you don't use the detail, it's hard to do the other things that you need to do with the record. So if you have a chance to practice writing, it'd be a good idea to just observe. Doesn't even have to be a child, just observe anyone and see how much detail you can get into. And we'll work with that in subsequent meetings. And then the other chapter you're reading is on self-esteem. So chapter 2 you'll be using in your discussion board, and chapter 3 you will be using in your self-esteem presentation that you're going to do. So in this chapter they're going over self-esteem in relation to the classroom, separation, being able to do things on their own, being able to ask for help and that kind of thing. So it's a good chapter, in relation to observation and assessment. Kind of a little bit surprising. What does self-esteem have to do with observation and assessment? But it will, you'll see when you read it. So it's just about kind of gives you an idea of what to look for. So that's our reading. And then we're going to be, you want to get ready. You have a discussion board and you have the self-esteem presentation for this week, and you also want to get ready for your anecdotal record assignment simply because you need to, if you are not in the classroom or in a family child care or a similar situation, then you'll need to find a child. So if you have any trouble with that, let me know and I'll give you some ideas. But if those of you, I don't know you well enough yet to know who is working in the classroom and who isn't, but anyway, you just need to prepare for that. A couple of words about discussion board, which I graded the week 1. Great job. There is a discrepancy between I noticed between the due dates assignment sheet, which says that you should respond to 3 colleagues on the discussion board, and some of these discussion boards say 2 colleagues. So I just want to clarify that that should be 3 colleagues, not 2 that you reply to, particularly important in this course when there are so few of you. I did not penalize you if you only responded to 2 colleagues last week, but if you could respond to 3 from here on out, that would be really great. Just a couple of tips on writing discussion board posts. You should, throughout your main post and your replies, you should be integrating course material, whether that's videos or the text or anything else that you're reading or observing outside of class. Some of you are doing a great job bringing in your personal examples. That's wonderful. You definitely want to use personal examples. Really helps build up the discussion board. Remember that the discussion board is here in place of going to class. So you really want to expand and move the discussion forward. You don't just want to reply and say, that's a great job, or I like that you said. That's not what we're looking for. What we're looking for is for you to build on what was said. So your reply should really just be as really as big as your main posts in a lot of cases. The other thing I want to mention about discussion board is that this is a really good place to practice your APA format. You should be using APA format throughout your writing, particularly in text citations. And I just want to tell you that I am providing you this week in this announcement page with I'm going to see if I can find, I put up a little video. There's a video that I have embedded, which is about APA, and it's really totally about in-text citations. So I'm giving you the link. Look at that, because in-text citations are very specific. There are basically 2 types. One where you are citing an idea from a book, and then you write the author and the year. But then when you're quoting directly, you need to have a different kind of in-text citation, which is the author, the year, and the page number. And this great video says it a lot better than I can. So I'm going to provide that for you along with some other APA resources. I have them already here. Common APA errors, an APA cheat sheet, 10 biggest mistakes, etc. So you can get started working on your APA. I do expect, and a lot of you did this and it was great, I do expect APA citations in each week. I expect there to be APA citations because this shows that you're integrating the course material into your discussions. So that is a couple tips on discussion board. And then the self-esteem presentation blog. This is basically you're doing a PowerPoint and you are uploading it to our blog. It tells you here how to create the entry. One person has already done it, and it's similar to the wiki, which most of you had no trouble with. So you're going to use the chapter 3 information on self-esteem, but you're going to make like as if you're presenting to parents or other teachers about self-esteem in the classroom, okay? And of course, your own words. Don't make it all quotes from the text, and if you do quote, make sure that you cite it. And this is, I wish that we were actually presenting these. That would be really fun. But what is going to happen is that you are going to at least share them on the blog, and you're going to upload yours, and then you're going to give feedback to someone else on theirs. And make sure you give them, really substantial feedback and make it really fun. So that's the self-esteem presentation blog that you're going to do today, this week. And then just one more thing, and that is the week 4 anecdotal record assignment. Just to kind of highlight this, you're going to need, this is not a long observation. It's 3 15-minute observations of one child. So you can do that if you have access to a child easily. You can do that at different times, and if you don't have access to a child easily, you can do it all at once, but make each observation separate. Don't do 45 minutes straight. So one thing I just want to highlight in this assignment is that you're going to be taking very careful anecdotal records of incidents that happened during your observation periods. And then you're going to be making a table of the 3 different observation periods and describing what you saw, that it's going to look different in each of the tables. And then you're going to be making some conclusions about what you observed, what you're able to learn from the observation, in detail. You're going to answer the questions, and then you're going to write a reflection on it. And we will go over this in more detail in next week's meeting. Um, and I think that that is it. If I forgot something, I don't know what it is, but I wish you all well this week. Please reach out to me. I'm available. And let me know how everything is going. Keep me informed of anything you don't understand or anything you don't understand that I have said to you, or commented. I do comment on all your work. Sometimes you'll find those comments within the rubric itself, and sometimes it will just be in the comment box. In some cases, it will be even on your documents. It just depends on what we're doing. So I wish you a great week. It's a pleasure to work with you. I love observation and assessment. It should be a lot of fun, and stay in touch. So talk to you later.